Life's hardest moments don't just knock you down, they strip away illusions, revealing who you truly are. The job you thought defined you vanishes, relationships crumble, the purpose you once clung to fades. These aren't punishments, they're wake-up calls. Stoicism teaches us that pain isn't something to flee, but to embrace, master, and transform into resilience. Rule 1. Accept reality even when it breaks you. Facing harsh truths is often harder than the pain itself. The shock of loss or failure can feel like a knockout blow, leaving us reeling. Yet in that moment we face a choice. Resist reality or embrace it fully. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus observed, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. This isn't about passive endurance. It's an invitation to engage with life's challenges head-on. When we hit rock bottom, it's easy to believe the story is over. But what if it's just the beginning? Pain shatters illusions, forcing us to confront raw truths. It demands we stop pretending, clinging to outdated dreams, or resisting what can't be changed. Ask yourself, how much of your suffering comes from the event itself, and how much from your refusal to accept it? Resistance prolongs pain, trapping us in denial. Acceptance, however, is power. Seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. It's not about liking the situation, but acknowledging it without letting it dictate your spirit. Rule 2, don't escape the pain, use it. Our instinct is to flee discomfort, to numb it with distractions, work, or empty escapes. But avoidance only deepens suffering. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Pain, when faced, becomes a teacher. It strips away pretense, revealing what truly matters. Carl Jung warned, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Avoiding suffering doesn't erase it, it festers. Instead, sit with your emotions, grief, anger, confusion, and let them guide you. Each is a messenger pointing toward growth. Stoicism teaches us to turn obstacles into opportunities, using pain as fuel for transformation. Rule 3, don't trust the first emotion that hits you. In crisis, emotions surge like a storm, raw, overwhelming, and often misleading. Stoicism urges restraint. Pause before reacting. Seneca noted, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Proving yourself means mastering impulses, not being ruled by them. Emotions are signals, not commands. Anger, sadness, fear. Acknowledge them, but don't let them dictate your actions. In that pause lies clarity. You realize your pain, while real, is part of a larger human experience. This perspective frees you from isolation, connecting you to something greater. Rule 4, stop making it all about you. Suffering can shrink our world, making every setback feel catastrophic. But zoom out. Your struggles are threads in humanity's tapestry. Pain is universal. It connects rather than isolates. Instead of dwelling inward, engage outward. Read, create, serve, learn. These acts remind you that life is bigger than your pain. Comparison breeds bitterness. Instead of resenting others' success, let it inspire you. Focus on contribution, not just survival. When you stop centering your narrative on suffering, you find purpose in the collective human story. Rule 5, never let jealousy poison your heart. In hardship, it's easy to envy those who seem untouched by struggle, but envy is a poison. It blinds you to your own strengths. Epictetus taught, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor. Gratitude is the antidote. Appreciate what you do have, your resilience, your capacity to grow. Jealousy binds, gratitude liberates. Celebrate others' wins, then channel that energy into your own journey. Your path is yours alone. Embrace its challenges as opportunities to build something stronger. Final thoughts. These Stoic principles aren't just philosophy, they're tools for rebuilding a life with meaning. Acceptance, pain as a teacher, emotional mastery, outward focus, and gratitude, these are the pillars of resilience. Every challenge is a chance to grow. The question isn't whether you'll face adversity, but how you'll rise from it. Remember, you are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. The darkest moments can forge the greatest strength. Lean into them, learn from them, and emerge unbroken. Rule 6, focus on what you can control. When life unravels, our instinct is to grasp at every frayed thread, trying to fix what's broken, change what's unchangeable, or force outcomes beyond our reach. But Stoicism draws a clear line. Some things are within our power and most are not. The key to resilience lies in directing all your energy toward the former. Epictetus put it bluntly, some things are up to us and some are not. Your thoughts, actions, and choices, yours to command. External events, others' opinions, past mistakes, beyond your control. Obsessing over them drains your strength. Instead, focus on your response, the one thing you truly own. Ask yourself, is this mine to solve? If not, let it go. If so, act with intention. This shift doesn't mean indifference, it means clarity. You conserve energy for battles you can actually win. Rule 7, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Stoics practice premeditatio malorum, the deliberate contemplation of potential hardships. Why? Not to dwell in fear, but to disarm it. By mentally rehearsing loss, failure, or hardship, you strip them of their power to shock you. Seneca wrote, the man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Sit with it, then ask, could I survive it? The answer is almost always yes. This exercise doesn't invite pessimism. It builds unshakable confidence. When you've already faced why our fears in your mind, reality loses its sting. Rule 8, turn obstacles into fuel. Every setback carries hidden momentum. What looks like a barrier can become a stepping stone if you choose to see it that way. Marcus Aurelius saw adversity as training. The impediment to action advances. Action, what stands in the way, becomes the way. Lost a job? It's a chance to pivot towards something more aligned with your purpose. A betrayal? A lesson in discernment. Illness? A reminder of what truly matters. The Stoics didn't just endure hardship, they mined it for wisdom. Ask, what is this here to teach me? Then use it. Rule 9, memento mori. Remember you will die. Mortality isn't morbid, it's clarifying. The Stoics kept death at the forefront of their minds, not to incite fear, but to ignite urgency. You have limited time. What are you wasting it on? Grudges? Vanity? Comfort? This awareness sharpens priorities. It pulls you out of pettiness and into purpose. As Seneca warned, you act like mortals in all that you fear and like immortals in all that you desire. Stop postponing what matters. Live now as if this moment is all you're guaranteed. Rule 10, build a life that can't be broken. Resilience isn't just about weathering storms, it's about constructing something no storm can destroy. That means anchoring yourself in timeless virtues, courage, wisdom, justice, self-discipline. External fortunes rise and fall, but character remains. Ask, if I lost everything tomorrow, what would be left? Your integrity, your principles, your ability to start again. Cultivate those. The rest is decoration. Final word, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering it, not avoiding pain, but alchemizing it. These 10 rules are your blueprint. Internalize them, practice them. When life fractures, you won't just piece yourself back together, you'll rebuild stronger. The path isn't easy, but it's simple. See clearly, act deliberately, endure wisely. It's how you turn suffering into strength. Now, go live it. Rule 11, practice voluntary discomfort. The modern world constantly pushes us toward comfort, convenience, instant gratification, and avoidance of hardship, but the Stoics understood that true resilience is built through deliberate discomfort. Periodically deprive yourself of luxuries you take for granted. Skip a meal, take a cold shower, sleep on the floor. This isn't self-punishment, it's training. Seneca, who lived in wealth yet practiced poverty, wrote, set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? By willingly embracing small hardships, you prove to yourself that you can endure far more than you imagine. Comfort becomes a choice, not a necessity. Rule 12, judge less, observe more. When adversity strikes, our first instinct is often to label it as bad or unfair, but the Stoics remind us that events themselves are neutral. It's our judgments that color them. Before reacting, pause. Strip away the stow. Write you're telling yourself and see the situation for what it is, just facts, not fate. Marcus Aurelius advised, don't let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason and wisdom that guard you now. Resist the urge to catastrophize. Observe, analyze, then act. Without the weight of unnecessary emotion. Rule 13, be strict with yourself, kind to others. Stoicism demands rigorous self-discipline, but never at the expense of compassion. Hold yourself to the highest standards while recognizing that everyone else is fighting their own battles. When others wrong you, Remember, they too are acting from their own limited perspective. Epictetus taught, when someone behaves badly, ask yourself, what makes me think this is bad? And examine your own assumptions before judging theirs. This isn't about excusing harm, but about maintaining your peace. Resentment is a burden. Understanding lightens the load. Rule 14, let go of fairness. Life isn't fair, and demanding that it should be only leads to frustration. The Stoics accepted this without bitterness. Your effort won't always equal your reward. Good people suffer. The undeserving prosper. This isn't injustice, it's reality. Focus instead on what you can control, your integrity, your effort, your response. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Pour your energy into rising above, not railing against what you can't change. Rule 15, death is the ultimate deadline. We procrastinate on our dreams, delay difficult conversations, and postpone change as if time is infinite. The Stoics countered this illusion with memento mori. Remember, you must die. Let this sharpen your focus. Ask yourself daily, if this were my last year, what would I stop doing? What would I finally say? Who would I become? Don't wait for tragedy to force these questions upon you. Live with death as your advisor, and you'll waste nothing, not your time, not your love, not your potential. The Stoics' path forward. These 15 rules aren't just philosophy. They're the operating system for a life of unshakable strength. Internalize them one by one when hardship comes, and it will. You won't just survive, you'll advance. The Stoics didn't promise a life without pain. They promised something better. The tools to transform pain into power. Your trials aren't obstacles to your story, they're the forge that shapes it. Now, what will you do with them? Rule 16, become a student of adversity. Every hardship carries hidden curriculum, lessons that comfort could never teach. The Stoics approach suffering as scholars, asking, what is this here to reveal? When life delivers blows, don't just endure them, study them. Marcus Aurelius kept this mindset even in war. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your current struggle, no matter how painful, is your most immediate teacher. Treat it accordingly. Ask yourself, what weakness is this revealing in me? What strength could it be building? How might this pain serve others? The answers forge wisdom no classroom can provide. Rule 17, cultivate inner citadel. While external chaos rages, the Stoics built an unassailable fortress within. Your thoughts, values, and principles can remain untouched even when everything else is stripped away. This isn't escapism, it's ultimate sovereignty. Practice this daily. 1, morning, resolve what virtues will guide you. 2, noon, check what's invaded your peace. 3, 9, audit where you gave your power away. Epictetus, born a slave, proved no chains could bind his mind. Your circumstances don't own you unless you let them. Rule 18, redefine victory. Modern culture equates winning with dominance, accumulation, and external validation. Stoics measured success differently, by alignment with virtue regardless of outcome. Seneca warned, no wind favors a sailor who has no port. Clearly, not I'll be happy, but I choose integrity now. Not they'll finally see my worth, but I know it regardless. Not if I win this, but however this ends, I'll remain whole. True victory isn't what happens to you, it's who you become through it. Rule 19, practice negative visualization. Our greatest suffering often comes from losing what we took for granted. The Stoics inoculated against this by mentally rehearsing loss before it occurs. Each day, briefly imagine losing your health, a loved one's last breath, financial ruin. This isn't pessimism, it's gratitude conditioning. By visiting loss in your mind, you return to the present, more awake to what you have. As Seneca noted, he who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. Rule 20, leave legacy beyond yourself. Stoicism was never about solitary toughness. It's about contributing to something larger. Your struggles gain meaning when they pave the way for others. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire, still asked, what's left to be done by one who has but a little time to live? Only this, to treat others as you'd wish to be treated. Let this guide you, not how do I survive this, but how can this pain serve? Not why me, but who needs what I've learned. Not when will I be free, but who waits in chains I can loosen. The unbreakable core, these 20 rules form more than a philosophy. They're the architecture of an indestructible self. Master them not through reading alone, but through relentless practice. 1, When choose discipline 2, when pain strikes, seek its lesson 3, when emotions surge, pause and question 4, when injustice burns, respond with virtue. The Stoics didn't promise ease. They offered something better, the certainty that no storm, external or internal, can destroy what you've built wisely. Now comes the real test, living it, not when conditions are perfect, but today. Not with grand gestures, but in quiet choices. The path is clear, the tools are yours. What remains is simply this, to begin. Rule 21, the obstacle is the path. Most people spend their lives avoiding difficulties, but the Stoics recognize that true growth lies in leaning into resistance. What appears as a roadblock is actually the trailhead to your evolution. Faced with a challenge, ask not why is this happening to me, but what is this preparing me for? Epictetus framed it powerfully. Difficulties show men what they are. Your current struggle isn't preventing your progress. It is the curriculum for your transformation. The weight that seems to crush you is actually strengthening your foundation. Rule 22. Own your reactions. Between stimulus and response lies your power. The Stoics emphasize that while we can't control external events, we maintain absolute sovereignty over our interpretations. When offended, you choose whether to take offense. When disappointed, you decide whether to despair. Practice this mental discipline. 1. Pause the automatic reaction. 2. Examine your initial interpretation. 3. Reframe the event constructively. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, you will find strength. Rule 23, live by nature's laws. Modern life encourages us to fight against natural rhythms, pushing when we should release. The Stoics align themselves with nature's wisdom. Seasons change, all things pass. Resistance creates suffering. Consider, are you forcing what isn't ready? Clinging to what's meant to release? Resisting necessary endings? Seneca observed, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Flow with life's currents rather than exhausting yourself swimming upstream. Rule 24. Become your own judge. E. Most people live seeking external validation, applause, likes, promotions. The Stoic develops an internal compass. At day's end, ask yourself, did I act with integrity? Did I contribute value? Did I honor my principles? Not what did others think, but can I respect who I was today? As Epictetus taught, if you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid. The opinion that matters most is the one you hold of yourself when no one is watching. Rule 25, make philosophy your daily practice. Stoicism isn't theoretical, it's meant to be lived each moment. Create daily rituals. Morning, set intentions aligned with virtue. Noon, check your mental state and course correct. Evening, review lessons learned. Marcus Aurelius kept his private journal. Now meditations not as literary exercise, but as vital spiritual practice. Your philosophy only matters insofar as it changes how you breathe, speak, and act today. The Stoics' living legacy. These 25 principles form a complete operating system for resilient living, but knowledge alone is worthless. The value lies in consistent application. When life tests you, as it will, you'll have two choices. 1, react as you always have. 2, respond as the Stoic you're becoming. The gap between those choices contains your entire future. Start small, but start now. Today, accept one unavoidable difficulty. Today, reframe one problem as training. Today, release one judgment of others. This is how ordinary people develop extraordinary resilience. Not in dramatic gestures, but in daily, disciplined choices. The path is clear. The time is now. The power is you. This Prova Vito in Altum. Press onward into the depths. Final wisdom, the Stoics' fire. Life will test you, but to forge you, the flames that seem to consume are the very fires that temper steel. You now hold the tools. 25 principles to transform suffering into strength, chaos into clarity, fear into fuel. But remember, philosophy that isn't lived is just words, so go now. Meet hardship as your teacher, wield adversity as your whetstone. Let every fall plant the seeds of your rise. The Stoics whisper across centuries, you are stronger than you know. The proof? You're still here, still breathing, still choosing. That's all that's ever been required. Now, live like the unbreakable force you're becoming.